close. Okay. There you go. Alrighty. So we know how this all starts. Got to be prepared. Of course, I usually never am. Okay. I'm just going to log in real quick, so just give me 1 second. Alrighty, I'm just gonna get into it because, well, that's how we have to do it. Okay, so people will start coming in eventually, and whoever is unable to make it to the live chat, you can catch it on the stream. So welcome to Intuitive Vibes Narc Survival 101. It's your girl Erica here. Of course, if you're new to the channel, please stick around. You may hear something that you need to hear, depending on what your situation is. And of course, to all of my returning vibers, my vibe tribe, welcome back, guys. Also, if you have a chance, go through some of my content. It might help you. You never know. You might see a video that might actually help you throughout your situation. So, guys, just a couple of announcements before I get started, and then we're just going to dive right into it. Now, first and foremost, I'm probably going to be doing a little bit more videos because unfortunately, I have to self-quarantine for the next 10 days because I did come into contact with someone who does have COVID. I do feel fine, though. I feel okay. Hi, Heather. Hi, sweetheart. Which is kind of the reason why I started late. But let's, just stay in good spirits, okay, guys? All right, I feel good. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm trying not to psych myself out. I do have to get tested in the next few days or so just to make sure that everything is good. And of course, if everything is good, you know me, you know Erica, back on her grind, right? What else? There is something else that I wanted to talk about. I am going to, actually, I was going to leave it towards the end of the video, but I'm actually going to talk about it now. And I find it to be important to talk about it because this is really where discernment plays a very big role. So just understand something. With this channel, I do not encourage, slander. I don't encourage any of that. Of course, if it did not happen and it's not the truth, then it is slander. I do not encourage any bullying. You guys know that. Very upfront. I'm very forward with you guys. I always tell it like it is. You know me. I'm not a cookie cutter type of person. I just, I give it to you the real deal. I give it to you the raw truth. So, I had to, unfortunately, I had to delete. I don't like deleting any of my content. I don't like deleting anything because I'm a woman who stands with her word. Okay, I say it like it is, and I stick by my word. I had to delete a video that I did recently. Actually, it was a live stream. Amanda, cool, thank you. Just give me 1 second. All right, hun. So I set that up for you too. I had to delete a live stream that I did this past week, Friday. Reason being was because the person who did the live stream with me requested that I do that. I don't know why. She didn't really specify, but she did make it clear that she wanted it to be deleted. And of course, some of her words were a bit brazen, but it was what it was. I mean, I'm not going to knock anybody for choosing what they want to do. But she pretty much told me, I said some things. I guess in a way she felt she said some things she shouldn't have. Okay? And she pretty much said, well, just if you could remove it, delete it, what have you. And I will not be collabing with you on anything. Those were the clear-cut words. Under normal circumstances, I would ask, well, is there a problem? Did I do something wrong? Whatever the case is. I know for a fact that I didn't do anything wrong. I know for a fact that, the content that I post is not only based on experiences, not only based on studies, but at the end of the day, it is based on, keeping it honest. That's just the way it is. And if there are certain things that you do be it if it's on camera or just in life in general, and you're getting some form of backlash from it, that you have to pretty much step back, from whatever it was that you have done, clearly you shouldn't be doing it. Okay? Clearly. Now, I don't have anything personal against this girl. I really don't. I don't know her from a can of paint. She was following my channel for a while. She was interacting on the live stream. She was interacting, with not only myself, but with several other subscribers. And a lot of you probably caught the live stream from Friday. And I did have a talk with Amanda about it because, you guys know Amanda is a very, very good friend of mine. She's very, very close to me. And just like I tell her like it is, she tells me like it is. And, she also kind of expressed that it was, odd to want to do something like that. But the way she came out was also, again, that was her choice. I honestly, and I'm going to be 100 with you guys because at the end of the day, that's just who I am. I was going to put that video on private because there were certain things being said in that live stream that, in my opinion, should not have been. And that's why I was trying to veer certain things in another course, because one, you don't mention someone's name. Two, you don't sit and put their business out there like that, because that would make us no better than a narcissist. That would make us no better than, simply putting out, this is who they are, this is their social security number, this is their, this is their information. You can create targets and you can create friction and problems with other people. So at the end of the day, when I went back to the live stream and I was just rewatching it and re-listening, exactly, Heather, you have to be discreet because, one, when you are doing certain things on other people's channels, especially when they're trying to create a certain type of platform for a certain type of people, you can attract problems. You can attract certain things to that person in their channel. And I know that I did mention I wanted to do testimonial Thursdays. I wanted to do that. And I still want to do that for you guys. I still want you to be able to give your story. And I want to be able to, of course, with your express permission, be able to broadcast it, because you get to help other people. You get to speak your truth. You get to tell your side of your stories, and you get to say what's been on your mind. I am, however, going to have to make guidelines for that, because one, you don't need anybody trying to come at you, trying to attack you. Two, I don't need anybody trying to come at me, trying to attack me, because at the end of the day, I have a very raunchy mouth, and I could probably invoke something out of somebody that'll make them want to jump out of their character. And I'm not trying to do that. But in looking back at everything on that live stream, a lot of you were there. A lot of you were there. A lot of you had seen the live stream itself. You had seen that I was trying to keep it on a straight and narrow course. So I was trying to keep it as generalized as possible. I'm trying to pretty much, express the oh my gosh, what's the word for it? I was pretty much trying to express the, just the educational portions of narcissism, behind people who suffer narcissism. Not to slander or bash anyone. We don't do that. And I don't know. Thank you, Heather. Knowledge. There you go. See, you're my new go-to for my dictionary. But, I'm trying to give people that. I try to give people generalized information because they need to hear it. Now, I'm not one to call people out, and I'm not one to sit here and, point fingers and accuse someone of something. I don't do that. But at the end of the day, if you're, just about chasing clout and you really don't understand the emotions behind this, if you don't understand the type of people who have actually been abused in these types of dynamics, who have actually been through these types of problems, because as it all boiled down to, I could be wrong, guys. And you know what? Tell me if I'm wrong. But as it all boiled down to, it really didn't appear that there was an actual relationship. There was just pretty much a maybe a connection, you know, or maybe some type of what's the word? It's like a line between two people. I mean, people on this channel, people who watch these channels, people who deal with these types of issues, deal with people who have verbally abused them, physically abused them, mentally abused them, emotionally, and in some cases sexually abused them. So if you are looking to just gain some type of attention off of the fact that you are upset with someone else, that is not being a victim of narcissistic abuse. That is not, in fact, that is actually what a narcissist does. Okay? That is what a narcissist does. That's not being a victim. It's not sitting there and trying your hardest to go around and pretty much just get yourself known based off of the fact that you're pissed off with someone. That is the total opposite of what we are doing, what we are trying to do. And the mere fact that I know for a fact I had not done anything. I had not done anything to warrant that, but I respected it and I told her, understood. You want me to delete it? That's perfectly fine. If I had to guess, maybe she got some backlash because of it. Maybe because somebody saw it and was like, yo, you know, whatever, said whatever to her. Listen, I am not here accusing anybody of anything, but the possibilities are out there. Maybe she was a narcissist. Guys, narcissists study narcissism. They study these things too. They study it. They watch us. They watch these channels. They watch victims. They do all of that. And what do? They can make up stories. They can do all kinds of stuff to gain some form of attention, to gain some form of clout. And at the end of the day, again, it was my fault on my end because, you know, I'm thinking she's being a sincere person. I'm thinking she has a form of genuineness. And you guys already know that I may be kind of, you know, bold in how I get my message across. And, you know, yeah, I know, Heather. I know. But you know something, it's not going to stop me. Trust me, it's not going to stop me. It just basically taught me to use discernment. Use discernment better and just really, really, you know, listen, Amanda's my eyes and ears, guys. Okay? She's my eyes and my ears. Because if I miss something, trust me, she always keeps track of everything. She always lets me know, yo, did you see that? Did you see this facial expression? Did you see what she was doing? Did you hear what she was saying? You understand? I'm sorry. Mario, new to the channel. I'm in therapy now. 6 siblings. And all are mentally destroyed. Mario, you came to the perfect place. Because you know what? You're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot. Trust me. You're going to learn a lot. And I'm going to try to help you the best way I can. Okay? I'm going to try to help you the best way I can because I do these weekly lives as a form of therapy. It's kind of like, you know, weekly therapy, meet up. Everybody meets up. It's like group therapy. We all meet up and we do what we got to do. Okay? And we help each other get through the motions, get through the steps. So please stick around. Chill with us for a little bit and, you know, sit back, relax, grab a drink. Any questions you have, please do not hesitate to ask me. I'll be more than glad to answer you the best way I can. And if, just in case, if I'm answering someone else's question or if I am talking about something, a lot of my subscribers and a lot of the people who join this chat, they're very, very helpful too. Trust me, they're extremely helpful. So you're definitely in the right place. Heather, yes, I saw that. I did see that. I didn't get to read it yet. I mean, with everything that's going on, because girl, I'm trying so hard not to psych myself out. I did see the subject of the email, so I will read it. And I'm gonna actually copy it down on my computer so that way I have it saved in there just in case. But I did see that, sweetheart, so I will definitely get to that for you. Larry, hey, love your show. How do you feel about cheating on a narcissist? Is it valid or would you be considered a narcissist? Okay. We'll talk about that other stuff later, guys. Okay, so cheating on them. Well, okay, first and foremost, I mean, I don't condone it. You know, whether you're in a relationship or, you know, marriage or what have you, I usually say just get up and leave. Leave before anything. But cheating on them, is it valid? I don't find cheating to be valid. I really don't. I think that trying to one-up them or trying to do something that you inherently know they are because we all know narcissists are cheaters, whether they are, physical cheaters, sexual cheaters, emotional cheaters, what have you. I can't really say that it's valid. I can say that it doesn't make the situation any better. It would not make the situation any better, and it doesn't make you feel any better. Because if they cheated on you, and you basically, depending on what the situation is, if anyone cheats on you and you go ahead and do the same thing, two wrongs don't make a right. But when it boils down to them, with you doing that with these types of people who have that type of mental issues, you do run the risk of having severe problems. You run the risk of them going through narcissistic rage, because narcissistic people, I mean, we know they have problems. Up here, they have problems. You do run the risk of them doing something extremely stupid, okay? Because a lot of them do things with no conscience. And if you take it upon yourself to do something like that, they can take it upon themselves. They're one-uppers. Narcissists are one-uppers. So if you do that to them, they can possibly do something worse. Hi, Anna. Hi, sweetheart. They can possibly do something worse. So I would strongly advise to refrain from it. My biggest advice is leave them alone. Let them go, because it will never get better from the beginning of the relationship up until whatever point. It will never get better. What else was on it? Okay, cheating on is it valid, or would you be considered a narcissist? Narcissist, and that was something that I tried to do in the live on Friday, but of course everything got a bit deterred. That was something I wanted to debunk. See, people who cheat, it doesn't necessarily make them a narcissist. Okay, it doesn't make them a narcissist. There's a certain criteria that is diagnosed that makes someone a narcissist. Cheating is just one of the qualities of a narcissist, but it doesn't make someone a narcissist. Someone can just cheat to cheat. I mean, they could be completely not, non-narcissistic, but they can just, because it's listen, unfortunately, you have people who have fallen into temptation. You have people who have done things to, because, they just, it's there. How many people have you known that have cheated on their mates, or even, cheated on you, and they, have said, listen, it didn't mean anything to me. It's just because you have people that look at sex as just that. It's just sex. Nothing emotional, no attachments, nothing. It's just, it was there, it presented itself, and, and I took it. I was wrong for doing it, whatever the case may be. But even though it is one of the biggest traits that a narcissist has, it doesn't make, just because someone has cheated, does not necessarily make them a narcissist. They have to be diagnosed with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. People can be narcissistic. People can have tendencies. We do at some point. All of us have probably experienced it at some point, where you have it's called like momentous or momental narcissism, where depending on the moment, we have like little moments of narcissism. All of us are capable of that. But if cheating, no, it's not to say the person is a narcissist. An asshole maybe, but not a narcissist. It's there's a big difference. You have people of the world who do a lot of stupid things, and they do things to hurt other people, but at the end of the day, a narcissist is more premeditated. A narcissist is more, they're just more embedded in their ways, and they know what they're doing. They know what it is that they're giving to you, and they know what it is that they're taking from you. And it's interesting that you have that you brought that up, Larry, because the topic of today's live that I wanted to talk about, I wrote my notes down, guys, so I could stay on course, because got to get back on track with it. What I wanted to talk about was intimacy with a narcissist, and their fears when it boils down to intimacy. And I mean, it doesn't just have to be physical intimacy, because everybody thinks intimacy. And oh, by the way, guys, before I get into it, hope you like my background. I fixed it up a little bit. I took down the Christmas decorations, and I wanted to give it a nice little feel to it. So, but anyway, yeah. When it boils down to intimacy, a lot of people correlate intimacy with, with sex, love making, physical touch, things of that effect. But it's not just that. Intimacy, emotions, it means vulnerability, connection, connectedness. That's what intimacy is. And a lot of people, wonder why does the narc fear intimacy? Why do they fear intimacy? What is the problem? Why can't I get vulnerability? Why can't I get this from these people? Boils down to this, guys, and I've said it probably 100 times since I've started this channel. It starts with their parents. It starts with their caregivers, okay? Now, parents are responsible for teaching their children emotions, empathy, sympathy, love, things to that effect, discipline, what have you. They are responsible for this. And because, yes, they will, Larry. Yes, they will. They definitely will. They're making you pay for something that you had nothing to do with. And which is pretty much the reason why I tell a lot of people stay away from them, because it's just, you're wasting your time if you're dealing with people like this, especially when they don't think they have a problem and they don't have to change. But now when it boils down to intimacy, parents are clearly responsible for teaching their children how to connect with other people. And how they teach their children this is they show them by way of connecting to their kids. Okay, so if you have a parent, let's just say you have two sets of parents. You have one set of parents who are in a very loving, very respectful, very connected relationship, and they are very secure in their relationship, and they have children. They're teaching their children how to have a secure attachment, how to feel secure, how to feel love, how to give love. It's give and take. So they're teaching their children the proper way of having a healthy environment. But if you have parents that do not teach their children this, and we're talking parents that are clearly either mental health issues, clearly narcissists, clearly toxic, whether there's abuse going on in the home, infidelity going on in the home, what have you. They're teaching their children how to be like this. Okay? They're teaching their kids that intimacy is intimacy is only gonna get you hurt in life. Intimacy is not worth having. It's not worth giving. Intimacy is just going to, pretty much leave you open. Being vulnerable is gonna leave you open to, to a cold, cruel world, because that's how their parents envision everything and everybody around them. Now, they're instilling this in their children's head, and they're teaching their kids, well, vulnerability. For example, if let's say a narc father is teaching his son, being vulnerable makes you a chump. It makes you, it makes you, for lack of a better word, a PU. You know what I'm saying? If they teach their son, hi, Miss Marie, how are you? If they're teaching their son this type of behavior, if they're teaching their son that settling down is just going to keep them stifled, it's going to keep them, in shackles, and they need to just be out there in the world screwing other women and doing all kinds of stuff. Because remember, if the father is cheating on the mother, committing all of this infidelity, clearly if the father's a narcissist and the mother's a codependent, the mother is enabling the father. The mother is enabling his behaviors. And while his son is watching this, he's thinking that this behavior is okay. He's thinking that, you know what? If dad's doing it and mom's still here, then I can do it. Yes, we were. Yes, Larry. I mean, you have a lot of different people who were taught wrong, but at the end of the day, what you choose to do from that point on, that's on you. So I grew up, like, for example, I grew up in very, very, poverty-filled neighborhoods. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in areas that just were, infested with gangs and drugs and violence. But just because I grew up there doesn't mean that I was going to, become a part of that. Everyone has a choice. Everyone has choices. And at the end of the day, if you go and you do certain things in your life, you go and you do certain things knowing that they have consequences. You see that for yourself, that they have consequences. You obviously, being a logical person, would say, this is hurting people. Let me try something different. This is severely damaging people. And this is the consequences. These types of people don't think that way. They don't think that way. They think that, you know what? Let's just put it this way. They don't think. They don't think. Okay? They're just pretty much about their own self-gratification. They're about what it is they can get, who it is they can use, and what supply they can get out of people. Okay? So now, why do they fear intimacy? Okay, guys, I made my notes, like I said, because I had a lot of stuff going on. Okay? But truth of the matter is, a narcissist views intimacy as codependency. Okay? Pretty much, you're taking away their freedom if they become intimate with you, if they become vulnerable with you, because they're opening doors, clearly doors that they don't even have keys for, because they were never taught empathy, they were never taught sympathy. They're basically afraid that they're going to open up doors, and once they do that, once they let you in, you're going to pretty much screw everything up for them. They have been so accustomed to just bouncing from supply to supply to supply to supply. This is why intimacy doesn't really work with a narcissist. Okay, so if you've ever been with one, if you're dealing with one, and if you notice how they're not being very vulnerable with you, they're being extremely guarded, and they're being extremely, extremely, like, you're trying to be intimate with me. They take that as you're trying to take over me. You're trying to take over my freedom. You're trying to take over everything I got going on over here, and I can't have that. Anna, you're describing the ex-narc situation, mom and dad. Yes, he was so abused by dad. Mom did nothing to stop it from herself or her children. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Andrea. Hi, my love. Hi, Conceited. Yes, Anna, and it's sad. It's really, really sad. That's why, like, when they say to women, don't bring several different dudes around your kids, especially if you have daughters. You don't bring different dudes around your kids, especially if you're not going to have any kind of a stable relationship, because what your daughters are going to grow up to believe is, well, mom did all of this, mom used dudes for money and this and that. They're thinking that kind of behavior is okay. Children are sponges. They're sponges. So clearly they're going to be looking up to their parents, because they're not thinking their parents are abusing them. They're not thinking they're psychologically abusing them, emotionally abusing them. Children are not thinking these things. They're just looking at it like, mom and dad know best. This is the way they do it, so this is the way I'm going to do it. And they go on through life thinking that way. And it's like when I was talking about narcissist mothers and their sons. A narcissist mother is going to have, 9 out of 10 times she's going to have a golden child and a scapegoat. The golden child's son is going to be the one who's going to be the pathological liar, the one who just goes out there into the world and swears that he's the shit. He swears he's all that, and every other female wants him, and he can get any female that he wants, and he likes to play hard to get, because something, they keep trying to throw themselves at him, and they keep trying to, like, wanting to be in his presence and wanting to be around him. And he's the one who turns out to be one of the worst, because he's the one that ends up pathologically cheating on his wife, getting into gambling. It's like, it's just, it gets so bad. And because their mothers inflated their egos so much, that, and mind you, her inflating his ego was because he was compliant with her supply. He was compliant in giving her supply. So every time he satisfied his mother will continue to put him on the pedestal, and just makes his ego get bigger and bigger and bigger. But that's all a sense of, like, false security. It's all a lie. She was projecting onto him her idealistic self. She was projecting onto him ideals, ideas. And what's an idea? It's a thought. It's a thought, but it doesn't mean it's reality. So that's what she was doing to her son. And of course, the scapegoat son, who can be, by the way, guys, who can also be a narcissist. Just because someone is scapegoated does not mean that they're not capable of becoming a narc. Yes, Andrea, be very, very careful who you bring around your children. Absolutely. Absolutely. I 1000% agree on that. But the narc mother who scapegoats her, her other son, he turns out to be, if let's say he turns out to be a narcissist, he turns out to be the really toxic type. He might even turn out to be a malignant narcissist, where he becomes extremely toxic because he done internalized all of that abuse. He internalized all of the insults, all of the backlash and everything. He's the one who resents his mother. Guys, do you hear me when I told you that most male narcissists they're usually ones who resent their mothers. The male narcissists that mostly resent their mothers are the ones who got most of the backlashing from their mothers. They're the ones who basically got put down, and they could not live up to the mother's expectations. Why? Because it's like I told you, when it comes to mothers and sons, the mother has a better chance of extending herself through her daughters than she does her sons. Because the relationship between a mother and her daughter is more, it's kind of like, mom and daughter, dad and son, that's just the components of everything. And because he can't live up to his mother's expectations, he can't live up to what it is that she's expecting of him, but the golden child does. The golden child is the one that's, kissing mommy's ass, doing everything for mommy, putting her on the pedestal, praising her. So of course, he's going to be the one that gets put on the pedestal, while the other one is the one who gets scapegoated. And they both end up in very dysfunctional relationships, extremely dysfunctional relationships. The golden child pretty much ends up being a pathological cheater, a pathological liar, the one who walks out there in the world acting like he's Superman, like his shit doesn't stink and he is untouchable. And the scapegoat child is the one that'll end up being in just as a dysfunctional relationship, but extremely toxic, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, and just disgusting towards any of the partners that come in his direction. To Lori Marie, okay, how do an adult parent handle a possible narcissist child in their teens? I know that narcs aren't diagnosed till adulthood, but what advice would you give with something like that? When it boils down to the teenagers, clearly there is someone who is responsible for that. Okay, teenagers, well, first and foremost, teenagers, it's common that teenagers have narcissistic tendencies. Okay, it's pretty common, because being a teenager in this day and age compared to being a teenager back in our day, there is a lot of pressure to be accepted. There's a lot of pressure to fit in. There's a lot of pressure to, for that attention, people fighting for the spotlight, people doing all kinds of stuff. When it boils down to teenagers, it's really about their environment. It's really about their environment. It's really about where these tendencies are coming from. Okay, who's in their environment that they are receiving these types of, because narcissism is a thought process, guys. It's a distorted way of thinking. It is a distorted way of thinking, because even though this child is a teenager, they were not born that way. They were not born that way. Someone is showing them certain behaviors. Someone is showing them certain things that are instilling narcissistic behaviors in their mind, and they're applying it to their life. There is someone in that child's environment that is teaching them how to be this way. And because we already are in a generation where there is so much peer pressure, and we're already in an era that requires you to everybody's got to one up everybody. So imagine being a teenager. You got a lot of these teenagers, for example, I have a lot of these teenagers on TikTok doing all kinds of videos and stuff, and there's always all kinds of stuff going on circulating on social media. With that kind of access, and just trying to impress people and trying to just stand out and stick out and just be involved with so many different types of people. Clearly there is someone, or it could be a couple of people, that is instilling in a teenager's mind, this is how you have to be. A lot of teenagers, I mean, like for girls, for example. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Lori. Social media is a very, very big influence. And you have, like, for example, these young girls. I've seen pictures of young girls. I mean, listen, I'm 38 years old, dude, and I don't even do that. I've seen pictures of really young girls. We're talking 14, 15 years old, 16 years old, taking very provocative pictures. Extremely provocative pictures, like sitting there with their legs, spread eagle, and, their little quenepas, as we call it, in the camera. And I'm like, and this girl is only 15 years old. And I'm like, what in the world? Mind you, we live in the world with pedophiles. We live in the world with, with child trafficking, all of this stuff. We live in a crazy world. And I'm seeing these young girls posing like they're older women. And they're 13, 14 years old, looking like they're 25, 26 years old. And I'm like, sometimes, honestly, and, don't take this the wrong way, but sometimes I'm glad, one, I have a son, and two, he's autistic, because he doesn't have to be tainted by the stuff of this world. He doesn't have to be tainted by any of that. His mind is so, I mean, granted, his mind is so fragile and it's so vulnerable and it's so innocent. But at the end of the day, I don't have to worry about him competing and going through all of this nonsense with the influences of social media and all kinds of people. I'm so glad I don't have to go through that. Anna, while Erica, the ex-narc, was the golden child, this explains so much. Now he's a malignant narcissist on drugs, verbally and emotionally abusive, cheater. Oh, he looks like his father. I question that. You and me, Anna, you and me got so much in common, man. We have so much in common. It's amazing. And when I commented, I responded to your comment, and you just brought me back when you left the comment on the video. You brought me back, because I was like, damn, I went through the same thing, and I was just like, and it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. It's just crazy that there are people out here in this world that are like this, that think like this, that perform like this. It's just ridiculous. Heather, everyone needs to look at family dynamics closely when getting in a relationship with someone, especially a narc upbringing. Absolutely. Larry, sometimes the empath son will expose the narc mom out of love for the supply. Well, Larry, you mean that the empath son will expose the narc mom out of love for the supply? I'm not sure I understand the statement. Everyone thinks nothing will ever happen to them until it does. Yeah. Narcissists don't think about the consequences. They don't, when they do things, they don't think about the consequences. They're so in the moment. I think it's like an adrenaline type of thing for them. They're so in the moment. It's kind of like laugh now, cry later. And the crazy part about it is that, while they're laughing and they're, going through the supply and they're doing their own thing and they're doing everything, and you're in your pain. You're in your pain. You're going through, your motions. You're doing all of that. That table eventually will turn. That table will eventually turn. So while they're laughing and they're hanging out and they're having fun and they're dealing with different people and they're doing all kinds of stuff, not giving a damn about you, not giving a damn what you were feeling or what you're going through or where your mental state is, nothing. They're laughing now, you're crying now, but that table turns. They'll start to cry and then you'll start to laugh, because now And I'm not even saying that you'll laugh at the narc. You'll just laugh at the idea of, I cannot believe I almost lost my mind for this bullshit. I cannot believe that I almost... So pretty much what the narc did was they did you a favor. Not only did they show you who you are, show you who they are and what you're capable of, but while they were wasting time doing all of that, while they were sitting there and just killing time because they thought you were not going anywhere, you were building up your strength. You were utilizing that time to build up your strength and to basically grab your shit and just say, you know what? I don't need this. I'm out. Because, you really don't know how strong you are, guys. You don't know how strong you are until strength is all you have left. That's all you have. So while they're doing all of that, thinking that you're sitting at home, just, crying and have a freaking shrine of them, like, you're that full of yourself. Yeah, okay. Like, I got a shrine of you in my house, and I'm just got, man, let me tell you something. When I started going through my motions, I started throwing things out. I started getting rid of stuff in my house. I started getting rid of all kinds of mementos, sentiments, you name it. I started getting rid of it because at that point in time, when you have reached a point where you say to yourself, this person in the end is who they truly are. This is what, and if I was fighting for this. I was fighting for this. And if by any chance there was a chance of me going back to, this is what I'm going to be going back to? No, I'm good. I started throwing everything. I started throwing things out from, like I said before, guys, I gave him the majority of the stuff back. I gave everything back, and whatever I found around the house, especially when I moved and I found different things around the house, I threw it out. It was hard. Don't get me wrong. That part is hard when you're getting rid of things. When you're getting rid of things because you see things and it brings up memories and it brings up times where, you had good times. You had good memories. You had good moments and they were very valuable to you, even though they didn't mean shit to them. It was very valuable for you. It was something that resonated here in your heart. And when I started going through, and the crazy part about it was, I'm not even gonna lie about this either. This is how upfront I am about it. His mom bought me a gift. I had never opened it. I never opened it. I had it sitting in my kitchen. And I just didn't like the vibe that I was getting. That was around the time I started seeing spirits in my house. And it was my old apartment, not this one, my old one. And I started seeing things in my house. And I'm like, and that's when I learned that people who have, malintention, que son malísimos, like they got bad, like they be throwing that juju and all kinds of stuff. I was like, yeah, I called my friend. I said, do me a favor, go into my kitchen, get that box on top of the shelf, go outside to the corner where the garbage can is on the corner and go throw that out. I didn't even want that in my house. I didn't want nothing. Okay. Because the bottom line was that rage, everything that happened came from somewhere, and it either came from her or it came from the other parent. But at the end of the day, you knew. And the crazy thing about it is, guys, the family knows. The family knows, okay? So while they're smiling in your face and they're like, oh, Anna, oh, Andrea, oh, Heather, love having you around, love being here with you, love doing this, love doing that, and they're smiling and everybody's having a good time. They're all smiling. These motherfuckers already knew, and they didn't even warn you. They didn't even tell you anything. And you know why? Because you were, the time killer. You were basically around, and since you were supply for them and you were basically, their prey and their property and everything, or whatever the case may be, that meant the family didn't have to deal with them. Because the family knows. The family been knew. This is why I told you guys, the family don't give a shit about you, man. They don't care. When you guys broke up, did you hear anything from anybody? Did anybody hit you up? Did anybody call you and say, listen, listen, Anna, listen, Andrea, listen, Amanda, listen. We're so sorry about what happened. Nobody knew you. Nobody knew you. Nobody knew you. Nobody called you. Nobody checked on you. They didn't even check to see if you were alive after the narcissistic rage. The only way they would have known is if your freaking name would have came up in the headline on the news. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm getting so caught up in here, and I'm like not even getting to look at. Yes, Larry. Okay, so excuse me. Sometimes the empathic son will expose the narc mom and tell you, I would never date my mother. No bigger flag. You know what? And here's the thing. They will tell you that, right? But they won't realize that those are the kind of women that they attract. Because when they attract people that reflect the abuser in their life, and you know what, guys, when we say abuser, it doesn't mean only physical abuse. Okay, people tend to think, oh, abuser, what, they put their hands? No, abuser can be mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, sexual. Okay, but when they have spent so much time with that particular type of abuser in their life, they end up being with women that are in reflection to their mother. Okay, this is why, if you, I don't know if you've noticed it, but people who are toxic, like, you know, if they have a toxic mother, they will be more drawn to be in relationships, in dynamics with people that are like their mother, that behave like their mother, or there are certain qualities of these females that remind them of their mother. Okay, and I truthfully believe that's a subconscious thing. That's a subconscious thing. That's like in the back of their head. They're not literally thinking, you're like my mom, you know, and I want to be with you. No, it's a subconscious thing. It's like in the back of their head. This feels familiar. This sounds familiar. This seems familiar. You know, if for example, if you're, and you know, if you are a, well, I call black sheep, if you're a black sheep son, you know, or if you were a victim of narcissistic abuse with your mom, if you've ever noticed how you would be with these kind of women, these female narcissists, and they would like, you know, they would pretty much put you down. They would pretty much like deteriorate or try to deteriorate your self-esteem. Narcissist mothers, they do that covertly to their kids. They put them down. They covertly abuse them. They covertly insult them. They covertly put them, like, exploit them in front of everyone, you know. So certain behaviors that a female narcissist is doing, it's similar to the behaviors of a narcissist mother. And a lot of guys fall prey to this because, excuse me, they fall prey to this because it's like, it's just that familiar feeling. It's like, you know, I don't know, the feeling of home in a way, you know. But if your home was a very toxic, very just repulsive type of environment, and you're dealing with a female narcissist, yeah, that's gonna feel like home to you. That's gonna feel like home to you. But if you come across a woman who is the total opposite of your mother, because narcs have abandonment issues. Okay, that's another reason, which I'm going to get into it with the fear of intimacy. They have severe abandonment issues. They are afraid to get attached. They're afraid to get too close because they're wearing these false masks, because they're walking around with a false sense of self, because they are afraid that you will see through their bullshit. They know that you will leave them. Listen, how many of you would be in a dynamic with someone who comes to you and says, hey, Bob, or hey, Marie, I have NPD? It's like someone saying, I'm a sociopath. I'm a psychopath. Like, being forthcoming with it. They know for a fact that you wouldn't want anything to do with them. We could be pen pals. That's about it. But they know for a fact that if they were to be forthcoming and saying, I have severe mental issues, I have severe problems, instead, what do? They mask it with other things. They mask it with other things. You know, they will, obviously, if you've dealt with someone who's a narcissist, they will tell you things about their exes. They'll tell you stories about their exes. Oh, my ex cheated on me. My ex did this. My ex did that. Blah, blah, blah. My ex is crazy. He or she slept around on me. And this is why I don't love. This is why I don't do this. This is why I don't do that. Bullshit. You have to pay attention. You have to pay extreme attention. Okay, let's see. Um, Heather, I saged mine twice. Yeah, I have saged there. Amanda had she had gotten me the sage. I still haven't used it yet. I'm one. I'm like, with my luck, I'll freaking choke myself in my house if I try to sage it. Like, I'll probably choke myself. So when I'm done quarantining, Amanda will sage the house. Anna, Erica, you were in my Kool-Aid. I threw out and anointed my apartment from head. Yes, yes, girl. I listen. I did the same thing. I did the same thing. I was like, yo, I don't do spirits, bro. I don't do. Listen, I'm not a. I'm not a one of those like really strict Christians. I believe in God, I believe in Christ. I took him as my savior. I still have a lot of work to do on myself. I will not sit here and say, "Oh, you're going to hell or this or that." No, cuz Lord only knows where I'm going. But I do believe in God, and I do believe in doing things with a pure heart. I do believe in doing things with good intentions. That I do believe in. I do believe in being a good person to people. You do good, you do unto others the way you want things done to you. I mean, that's how we roll, right? That's how we operate. So when I started seeing those things, I was like, oh no, 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 nope. Get the F out of my house. Go back to where you came from. I don't dabble in that candle magic. I don't dabble in none of that stuff. I don't do any of that stuff, okay? If that's something that people do, I mean, listen, to each their own. And, no me manda mal de ojo, because I'm telling you right now, God has a way of showing people. God will show me. God will show people. And that's another thing I tell people. That whole, you know, that voodoo, hoodoo stuff or whatever, the evil eye and all that stuff. You can sit there and you can throw black magic. You can sit there and you can try to mess with someone's blessings. Go ahead and do it. I mean, listen, people who do stuff like that obviously believe in a different God than I do. But at the end of the day, your God still has to answer to my God. So, how do you think this is going to work out? You understand? That's my take on it. But when people start to do things like that, and I wouldn't be surprised if narcissists do that. I would not be surprised. I mean, listen, somebody can manipulate energy just by giving you a really nasty, hard, like, they throw energy to you. They can literally, that's, I mean, listen, Spanish people call it mal de ojo, that's like the evil eye. But the reality of it is if they wanted to, they could just throw that really negative, nasty energy to you. And, if you like are really in tune with yourself, you can feel that. There were days I would feel energy that I knew wasn't mine. I knew it wasn't mine. I would be sitting at my desk and I'm just working and I'm like, and you know, I'm like, but I have no reason to feel depressed. I don't feel depressed. I would have these feelings of depression. I would have these feelings of disgust. Like, I'm just like, what's wrong with me? And sitting there thinking to myself, what the hell is wrong with me? I have no reason. I'm perfectly, like, I am blessed beyond belief. And my blessings are they just rolling in. Why? Oh, why do I feel this way? And that's because when people put a lot of focus on you and this is why I tell you, narcissists, when they become obsessed, they start looking at your pictures, they start coming to your social media, they really put that focus and that intention on you. So if you ever feel like a dark, I don't know, kind of like a dark presence behind you, or like a dark something like looking at you or lurking at you or just like trying to throw something at you, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. I'm not surprised if narcissists dabble in that stuff to manipulate people and their free will. Like, they manipulated you enough during your relationship with them, but now they're going to black magic for this stuff where they're like, okay, well, you know what? I can't manipulate you in the 3D world, so I'm going to manipulate you in the spiritual. No. No, no. Don't work that way. Because everything you do, if you do stuff like that, everything you do comes back. It goes back to you. Especially if God favors the people that you're trying to harm. Yes, Anna. When you do evil, it comes back to you tenfold. What goes around? Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer in that. People who walk around with malicious intent, it does not. And even if there are people watching it that, you know, or come on the stream later on, it does not work in your favor. It does not work in your favor. Okay? You can go ahead and think, you know, you're going to sell your soul to the devil. Hey, that's cool. That's cool. But you know something? At the end of the day, he going to come to collect. He's going to come to collect. And if you think you had it bad on earth, imagine when he comes to collect. I say leave them to it, man. Okay, so now, again, this is what I was explaining to you guys. Their self-destruction and horrible behaviors are meant to tear apart your foundation because they feel stifled. So when they go through the devaluation and they're doing the discard and everything, let me be very clear with you about something, guys. The discard was premeditated. It's premeditated, okay? They know once they've locked in some new supply, once they've already pretty much, because here's the thing. Though a narcissist feels the fear of abandonment, okay, which if they're worried that you're going to leave them, especially if they don't have supply, if they don't have something else to lock onto, if they fear, you know, they're going to lose their stability, whatever the case is, okay? If they don't have anything to fall back on, they're going to try their best to keep you within that, stuck within that. Okay, so if you gave them any kind of inkling that, you know what, I'm seeing through your bullshit, I'm really not liking it, this is not the way things used to be, and you know something, I'm really seriously thinking about just packing my shit up and going. If they get that kind of inkling, what they're going to do is they're gonna, in a sense, it's like future faking. What they're going to do is they're gonna be the person that you met in the beginning. Okay? They're gonna give you that impression. They're gonna be like, okay, you know what? Anna's about to leave me, and I can't have that because I don't have anything secure. I don't have anything secure on this end. So what am I gonna do? I'm going to maybe pick her up some flowers, you know, do a nice gesture, you know, and I'm just using you as a reference, hon. You know, do a nice gesture, do something to kind of like throw her off from my fucked up behaviors, and maybe show her that, you know, yeah, you know, I love you. I know I've been fucking up, blah, 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 boom, 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 right? They're doing this because they need you to stick around. They still need your supply. They still need something from you. They need your empathy. They need your sympathy. Mind you, this is all fuel. So as you are, it's coming out of your heart like rainbows and butterflies, right? And it's just because that's who you are. It's going into them like a dark, disgusting, like, you ever seen those Harry Potter movies with Lord Voldemort, and you just see like those, just the dark energy and dark entity. That's how it's going in for them. All your love and empathy and sympathy, that's how it's going in for them. It's not even going in here. It's going up here. Okay? That's all it's doing. So now he's gonna basically try to throw you off. Okay, he's trying to change. He's maybe trying to give me something, and he's trying to appreciate me. Okay, maybe he's starting to understand. He's starting to appreciate me. Let me explain something to you guys. Do not bluff. When it boils to a narcissist, don't bluff. Please don't do that. Okay? Don't sit there and say, I'm going to leave if you don't learn how to appreciate me. If that motherfucker didn't appreciate you, just go. Just go. You didn't appreciate me. Somebody else will. Okay? Especially after everything you've been through. Don't bluff with them. Okay? Don't bluff. Now, you give them the inkling, and what happens? They will act like they were when you guys first met. They'll hold your hands. They'll be lovey-dovey. And they'll be, you know, cuddling and boom, boom, boom. And who knows? They might even give you a little boom, boom, because, you know, during the discard phases and during the certain stages of dealing with the narcissist, especially when they've already like checked out and they've already gone in that other direction, you'd be lucky if you get sex from them. Trust me. You'd be lucky if you get it. They might fulfill that part, okay? They might fulfill that part. Yes, they are. Absolutely. So while they're doing all of this, now they're throwing you off key. Now they're throwing you off keel. They're now putting you back in that position of This person wants to change. This person wants to make it work. Okay? They want to make it work. They want to make it happen. They want to make me happy. Okay? Let me, back off a little bit. Let me get my foot off their neck a little bit. You never take your foot off their neck. Trust me. If you keep your foot on their neck a little bit longer, you will see everything that they are. Okay? And that probably, keeping your foot on their neck probably would have been what really saved you. But at the end of the day, it's water under the bridge. You learned your lesson and now you know what to do next time. So once they lock that in, once they are going beyond their own measures, beyond what it is they would do, and they've locked in new supply, they've locked in, maybe it could be one person, it could be several people, it could be a whole harem of people, because we know that narcs like to be surrounded by a harem of people. Once they've locked it in and they got an unlimited source of supply, then what are they going to do? They're going to devalue you. They're going to discard you because you bluffed, because you gave them that impression that you were going to leave them. And narcissists can't have that. A narc cannot have you leaving them. So what are they going to do? They're going to discard you first. They locked in all of that supply. But here's the funny thing about it, guys. They do all of that, but yet they don't really want to let you go completely. They don't want to let you go completely. Why don't they want to let you go completely? Because this supply, though it is locked in, it's not really completely concrete. It's not completely stable. Okay? It's not something where they can say, oh, I got all this. I don't need you. No. They still want you around because you're supplied out of everything. You had the empathy, the sympathy, the love, the security. You wanted to have permanence. You wanted to create a family. You wanted to have all of that. They're not too sure about that supply. They don't know what to expect with that supply. They just know that they got it there. And when it boils down to, let's face facts, guys, when it comes down to dating, in the dating world, what are we doing? We're digging our hand in a bag, hoping to God we don't pull out a bad apple, right? That's the similar thing to a narcissist. They're dealing with supply, but they really don't know what they're dealing with. They just know, and they're satisfied that they have supply there. So as long as they know that, they're good. They devalue you. They discard you. Narcissistic rage. All that stuff comes up. Okay? But they will not completely let you go. They will not completely let you go. And of course, we know the hoovering tactic. So we know that in the midst of all of this, they're dealing with their supply. You're dealing with your pain because you were the genuine person. And while they're out screwing around town and doing whatever, or even screwing with exes or doing whatever, you decide to stay alone. You ever seen the meme that says, when two people break up, the one who stays single for, however long was actually the most loyal one, while the other one goes and sleeps around or goes out with other people or does whatever, the one who stays single was the one who was just, who had their heart in it. They were the one who were really loyal. That's who you were. You were the one who's extremely loyal. They were just busy. I need to make sure I got something. I need to make sure I got something secure before I let this go, because I'll be damned if you're going to leave me before I leave you. That's their mind frame. Okay? That's their mind frame. Now, like I told you, their abusive behavior is considered to be absent-minded. Absent-minded. Remember when I told you guys before, well, some people are going to tell you, well, they really don't know what they're doing. They didn't know what they're doing. I call bullshit on it. I personally call bullshit on it. Especially if you're going from all of this into a discard, because we know a discard is premeditated. They know when they're going to let you go. They know because they didn't have any intention on. Let's be realistic about something, guys. Because if this doesn't make sense to me. How can someone be absent-minded, right? How can they be absent-minded, yet they're wearing a fake mask? You gotta put on the mask, don't you? Like when I get up in the morning and I gotta do my makeup, I know what I'm doing, right? Yeah, you know what? I'll call that my mask. I put on my mask. I put on my makeup. So I know how I look when I'm going outside. I know that under this makeup, I look, a bit different, but this mask is presenting something to people. I know that for a fact. So how are you putting on a false mask, but you're absent-minded? How are you going out there and saying lies, saying things you don't mean, saying I love you, but you really don't mean it, but you're absent-minded? I call bullshit on that one. Yep. Larry, yes, don't bluff. You will pay. You will. That's why I say, guys, if you ever deal with them, or if you are dealing with one and you're contemplating on, but should I go? Should I stay? Listen, the minute you got to contemplate whether you should stay or go should be the minute that you grab your shit and get out. Because that's your gut telling you. Your gut is telling you, get out. You seen that movie, Get Out? That's your gut telling you, get out. Anna, yep, I'm still single and getting stronger. I took my power back. Narc free for life. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been there. I've been 2.5 years. And, people tell me, I don't know how you do it. I just do it. I just do it. We're in the middle of a damn pandemic. Who has time to really go out there and try to date people? Like, I'm freaking quarantining right now because I came in contact with someone who has it. And I don't even know if I have it. So am I really going to risk that by trying to date? No, I'm good. I'm good. I could take care of myself. Okay, so we learned that, they fear intimacy because truthfully, they're afraid that you're going to discover their true selves. That's why they wear those masks. They're basically, their false self, it covers their insecurities. Internally, narcissists are insecure people. Okay, they're extremely insecure people. And of course, the reason they're extremely insecure people was because their parents did not really, again, depending on which ones, because the golden childs are pretty much the ones that have been, their ego's been a little too inflated. So I think this would probably fall more along the lines of narcissists who were more scapegoated or like given that reward and punishment behavior. But the intimacy will reveal who they truly are. So they fear intimacy because they lack the empathy, they lack emotions, they lack these things. Therefore, they can't reveal that to you because clearly if they reveal to you, I'm not an emotional person, I can't cry, I can't, I don't know, if I watch a really sad movie, with a baby or something, and I'm just like, oh, I get so emotional, I start to cry. Someone who literally cannot cry at something so traumatic or dramatic, it's like they gotta force themselves, like, I just don't have any emotions. Like, you are that apathetic that you can't reveal emotions, you can't reveal feelings. That's just a little mommy and daddy really, really screwed you up. I'm just saying. Yeah, they have severe abandonment issues. So like I was telling you, the more they get attached, the more they fear being abandoned. So if they get more and more attached to you, this is why they try to like keep that wedge between you two, because you think about it this way, their parents abandoned them emotionally, psychologically, in some cases physically. They abandoned them. So clearly if their own parents have done these things to them, and it's kind of like, it's like that it's just that psychology, it's like that subconscious, their subconscious mind, because their parents did these things to them. Their subconscious mind is pretty much telling them, yeah, this person is telling you they love you. Yeah, this person is telling you they want to be with you. Yeah, this person is telling you this person is showing you that, and blah, blah, blah. But it's in the back of their head that because of the fact that if they show you who they truly are, listen, some people accept narcissists. You have people who are non-narcissists that accept a narcissist for, being a narcissist. And listen, I look at it this way. Clearly they're not, like I said, they're not going to be forthcoming. They're not going to tell you. But wouldn't it seem logical, quite feasible, if you were to just tell someone, listen, This is who I am. I can't help it. I want to get help for it. I'm trying to, whatever the case may be, you know, but you're giving someone the option of choosing what they want to do. See, what a narcissist does is they don't give you that option. They don't give you an option. They didn't respect you enough to even give you an option. They didn't respect you enough to say, I'm fucked up. This is who I am. Do you still want to deal with me? At least give me the damn option. Okay? Give me the option. I didn't even get the option. You know what I got? I like you, you're cool, this and this and that. Okay, I got time spent with me. I got all of that. And then I got the I don't want to hurt you. Okay. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't want to hurt you. I don't think you're going to hurt me. At least you haven't shown me any reason why you would hurt me. And look at what happens. Give me the option. Just sit there and tell me the truth straight up. Erica, I got mental problems. I have issues. And let me decide what I want to do with that. Let me decide if I want to continue with you or not. I didn't even get that. I just got gaslit. I mean, and it was still hard to believe for me. It was extremely hard because I was like, yo, this did not seem like the person that I was dealing with for almost 3 years. This did not seem like the same person that I was dealing with. This just did not at all. And I'm like, this was a person who, if I didn't call him, you know, he would be kind of upset about it. But at the end of the day, it's like, it went from I love you, hugs and kisses, you know, family outings, holidays, good times, spending time with the kids, to just complete and utter narcissistic rage and just making his happiness my responsibility. It was my responsibility because apparently I was the reason why he wasn't happy. To, you know, just talking down to me, being nasty and mean and cruel, to breadcrumbing me, texting me in between. Well, let's be friends. The fuck I want to be friends for? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it went from all of the high magnificent. Yes, Larry. Yes, brain fog. Because that's how that works. That's how gaslighting and everything works. It's like, you know, and it's interesting because I was talking to someone about it, and, you know, when they were expressing something to me, and I said, oh, it's your fault. It's always going to be your fault. Any reason why something went wrong with your relationship is going to be your fault. According to them, it's going to be your fault. You're trying to control me. How am I trying to control you? You're trying to lock me down. You're trying to make me do something I don't want to do. I'm telling you to grow up. That's trying to control you. That's trying to lock you down. That's trying to make you do something. Well, clearly it's trying to make you do something you don't want to do, because these people do not want to grow up. They're very childish people. They're very, you know, man child, woman child. That's just how they are. But it's clear that these people are just, you know, if you put them all in a room together, because on two narcissists, like, being together, it's so much toxicity. So if you were to put them all in the room, to just one room together, and just fucking light a fuse, man, that whole entire room would blow up, like completely blow up. Because these types of people, they don't think about their actions. They don't think about the consequences. And they think that what has worked on someone else will work on you. I noticed that. I've learned that, okay? I've learned that. What had been projected onto my ex from his ex was projected onto me. It was projected onto me. So I paid for, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to sit here and say that my ex was a saint, because I'm sure he wasn't. But I paid for a lot of stuff. I paid for a lot of stuff that had absolutely nothing to do with me. And the fact that I've had to pay for it and have to go to therapy for it and pay for my therapy because of what someone else did, you're damn right, I got every right to be upset. Erica, now I know why my divorce took 3 years. He refused to sign the papers, so the judge said sign or go to jail. He still tells people we are still married. No, it ended June 2020, thank God. And you know what's interesting? What's interesting is that people, certain people in their environment, like say for example friends, they don't know that these people are like this. They don't know. And they just like, yeah, this person's mad cool, it's my homie, this my homegirl, blah blah blah. And you're sitting there looking at them like, if only you knew. If only you knew what kind of person this is. If only you knew how far this person would go, or how angry this person could get to the point that they're having episodes. Like I told you guys, I already explained that before. I don't slander is if it's fabricated, if it did not happen, if it's just basically you're throwing people's name in the mud and doing all kinds of stuff that you shouldn't be doing. That is slander. But this is truth. This is truth. Everything I have gone through is 1000% truth. It happened just as I explained. And I'm explaining something to you guys. I want to explain something very thoroughly. If you have not heard from them, if they go silent, it's because you're standing in your truth, and because they're too ashamed. They're too ashamed to even come forward. Their pride and their ego will not let them come forward, will not let them apologize to you, will not let them do anything, because you know why? One, if you're anything like me, they already know how you're going to respond. Okay? People already know how I will respond. People already know. That's why I don't say nothing to his family, but I said if his family says anything to me, I'm going to use some words that they're not going to like. That's why none of them hit me up. None of them bother with me, because I will put everybody on Front Street. I have no problem handing people their asses. I really don't, especially when I've done nothing but been a kind-hearted person to everybody. And I have been a good, genuine person to everyone. Nah, no, screw that. Yes, no, believe me that he is this. Yeah, and a lot of them don't know. A lot of them are just looking at it like, I guess it's just another one who bites the dust, right? Yeah, and of course they're gonna blame us, Anna. They're gonna always blame us. They're gonna say we're the problem. Well, yeah, she was being. I mean, listen, I don't know what my ex was telling people. All I know, he was telling them, oh, she's being controlling, and she was doing this. She was, for all I know, he was villainizing me. Okay? He was making me out to be the villain. He was probably, he could have been telling people that I was, I don't know, maybe he told him I cheated. I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that not one single person is saying a damn word to me, especially since I started doing all these contents, especially since I started making these channels. Not one person said anything to me. You know why? Because Erica's telling the truth. I tells no lie. Yes, Larry, it absolutely is. Yep, it absolutely is. Yeah, I listen, I tell people, you want to smear my name? By all means do it. I don't give a shit. All of you know me. You know I don't give a damn. I don't care what people think. I don't care what people say. I don't care. If it holds no weight and there is no truth to it, I do not care. If people do not like me, I do not care. If people hate me, oh well. The devil hates God. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's good, Heather. Yes. Narcs telling themselves the lies they say about you is really who they. Yes, absolutely. I like you too, Heather. I like you too. Okay. But yeah, guys, this is, and obviously, and this is interesting. Okay, well, one is they don't truthfully share or trust others, which is what I told you. They don't trust others. They're very guarded people. They don't trust people. Okay, so what they do is though they don't trust you, they still want your supply. They don't trust you. They're very, you know them. They're very paranoid people. They live with that trauma. They live with that paranoia. They don't trust you, but they want that supply. They want your supply. So just because I don't trust you doesn't mean that I'm not going to take attention from you. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to, get things out of you. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to use you for sex, use you for money, use you for whatever. Doesn't mean any of those things. Obviously, we as normal people, when we learn to trust people, we become vulnerable, we become intimate with them. Narcissists don't do that. They fake it. They fake intimacy. They fake vulnerability. They put on this whole false persona, and what do? They just suck the life out of you. They'll take whatever they can from you, especially knowing that they don't trust you. And when they're done with you, they push you to the side. And I don't defend myself to these flying monkeys or minions. I like, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm the same way. I'm the same way. But at the end of the day, for people who, you know, like me personally, I look at it this way. My pages are all open. My pages are all public. All of them are public because I'm, you know, listen, guys, when we learn to do things outside of ourselves that's not attached to an obligation or to a personal gain. Okay? When I started this channel, I started with just, you know, with my experiences and learning certain things. And it just over time asked for anything in return. The most I asked was, listen, share the video if you know somebody who might need to use it. Just do, you know, I really, really genuinely want to help people. Okay, so much so to the point I put my own money into my channel. I put my own money into my work. I put my own money into advertising. I put my own money into doing all of this. Not asking for a dime from anyone. Why? Because I know what it is to do something outside of myself that is not attached to an obligation, nor is it attached to getting something personal in return. Believe it or not, we've all been through the ringer with a narcissist, but there are some good people out there. I did, Heather. I started with dark hair, my glasses, and, you know, my little tiny background, you know, but and this is how far it gets. And you know something? I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I woke up. I'm glad I was able to have the strength to do it and continue doing it, you know? In the beginning, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, in the beginning, I would say to myself, what if people take it the wrong way? What if people take what I say the wrong way? What if people take what I do the wrong way? And then I had to stop and think to myself, but wait a minute. If people take what I'm doing the wrong way, they're part of the problem, not the solution. So if you don't like what I do, don't look. If you don't like what I say, don't listen. I don't have time to try to impress other people. I don't have time to do it. And you guys have seen me on so many different occasions. You've seen me on my good days where I got my hair down and my makeup is looking nice. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm looking kind of cute. And then you see me on my bad days too, where I have no makeup on. Okay, my extensions are out and I'm just chilling because this is me. This is just who I am. And Amanda, well, she's seen me on even worse days. So I'm not even going to go there. But yeah, I do it for you guys because I know what it is to just need that boost, to need that pick me up, to need that, the words of encouragement and those reminders to remind you, you know, in case one day you're waking up and you're just kind of like in a funk and you're like, oh, you know what, let me go by Erica's channel and see what she put up. Because trust me, you guys know, I will be consistent in what it is I do. Thank you, Anna, and I'm so glad. Oh, Heather says you look like Selena the singer. Well, yeah, I love Selena too. I loved her growing up. I definitely loved her growing up. And trust me, if I could have looked like her, whew, whew, I think I'm actually kind of glad I didn't, because then God knows how many other narcs I would have attracted. So I'm good. I'm good. Conceited, I was going to ask how you feel about leaving your social media open. I did not have mine private before the narc, so I did not close them with the objective of living life as it was before. In the beginning, I had my social media was private. I did have it private. But then when I started getting more and more heavily into advocacy and helping people and just, you know, and wanting to just be out there more, because clearly, you know, if you want people to see your content and in that, you know, they're watching with a purpose, you have to have things public. I had just reached the point where I said, I've had people have stolen my pictures. People have stolen my pictures and made fake accounts. People have stolen my pictures and made dating websites. People have stolen, you know, And it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm like, I can't stop that. Yeah, I can't stop that. But my, what I'm doing, I don't have a spirit of fear. I lived with fear for a while. After that whole ordeal happened, I was in fear for a while. And not that I was in fear of my life or anything like that. I just lived in fear of, you know, am I going to be judged? Am I going to be looked at wrong? Am I going to be, like after being humiliated and going through all of that, I just couldn't do it anymore. I said, no, that's where they want me to be. That's where they want me to be. And God made it clear, I didn't give you a spirit of fear. If it's something that you're trying to do to help wake people up, I strongly believe God would support me on that. I'm doing it from a pure heart. I'm doing it from a good place. I'm not doing it you know with bad intentions. I'm not giving falsified information. I'm not veering you in a direction that you should not be going into. I'm trying to veer you away from people like this. So when I do my videos, I do everything I need to do. It's to show you there's a reason why you don't deal with these people anymore. And I just want to remind you why. I want to remind you, give you that little reminder. Or if there are certain things that you are, who knows, you may be dealing with someone new and there are just certain things you're not sure of. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you might be compelled to come back and say, okay, wait, where's the video that Erica was talking about X, Y, and Z? And you go and you watch it, because that helps you to like look at red flags. It helps you to look at certain things. I'm not saying listen, I'm not saying I want you guys to be single for the rest of your lives. I want you guys to be happy. I want you to have healthy relationships. If it means being single for a while until that happens, then so be it. But I want you to be happy first, happy with yourself, and then happy with someone else. No, Larry. No, they won't. They won't. They won't apologize. And if they do apologize, it's because they have an agenda. Either they have an agenda because they want something in return, or they really don't mean it. It's just like, and me, like, I don't think I've ever met a humble narcissist. It's kind of an oxymoron. I never met a humble narcissist. I've heard of narcissists going through narcissistic collapse, kind of like when we go through our depression after a discard. Theirs is a narcissistic collapse where supplies running out, their tactics aren't working, and they're being exposed, whatever the case may be. They go into hiding. They go into hiding and they go through narcissistic collapse. They're basically forced to deal with themselves. They're forced to stand in front of a mirror and deal with every single consequence, because they tend to think that they could do what they want and get away with it. I got away with this. No, 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 my brother. No, 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 my sister. You think you got away with it, but you didn't. Okay? God may not come through, guys, when we want him to. He may not come through. I know you want that narc to feel that karma like yesterday. God may not come through when we want him to, but believe you me, he is always on time. He's always on time. And I tell people, make sure you humble yourself. Humble yourself before God does. Because if God is forced to humble you, uh, that's you're gonna wish you had humbled yourself. Yes. Conceded. Mine did it, but was to get me reinvested in the situation. Mine had an issue with mirrors, and now it makes sense. They don't like looking at themselves, because when they look at themselves, they see everything that they've done. I mean, not unless you're dealing with like, what I noticed with female narcissists, a lot of female narcissists, but like the real like superficial, like the somatic ones, the so-called elite ones, the real like classy narcs, and the ones that like they swear that they're the shit or whatever. Those, they really don't care. They don't care. They don't they're just like, oh well, I mean, I got what I wanted out of it, so And if you, reject them, deny them or whatever, clearly they don't like rejection. They don't like any of that. They will try to slander you and tarnish your name and do all kinds of stuff. Those are the real, like, petty, superficial, just the kind of females that are like, it just makes me really mad that I share the same organ as they do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I wish, you know what I wish? I think it would make it a lot easier. It would be a lot easier if, I don't want to sound raunchy with saying it though. I really don't want to sound raunchy with it, but I really wish the women who have really genuine hearts, because you could tell the difference. Let's just put it this way, okay? You can tell the difference between a gold and a gold-plated, okay? Just saying for you fellas. Like, if that was the case, then you already know. Melissa, exactly, it's all BS. They were around a lot of small talk and BS, hustling people, using people, and that learn just how to get the attention they want by observing how they, and so it's mostly an act. Yeah, that's all it is. They hang around people that they feel will give them status. They hang around people that they feel will that are popular, that are well known. They want to be around people that do that because they want to be in the spotlight too. They want to be in the spotlight, and they want to be just like they're just, they're idealists. They really are. They're real idealists. So when you're dealing with, like, especially female narcs, don't get me wrong, you got men that are like that too, but female narcs, like, a lot of them, you'll see a lot of them probably on social media, but a lot of them do that because they just want some type of, like, rapport. They want some type of name for themselves. So you know what? If you notice how you have certain females, they'll put up, like, certain photos, certain things that are like, they're surrounded by, like, say, oh, I don't know, fancy places and real, like, artsy type stuff, and red carpet, like, event type stuff, things like that. But for a fact that they're just they're just a chick from the I want to say the project. I'm not even gonna say the project. I'm from the project, so no. But you know what I mean. It's just a chick from, like, the hood that's, like, chick, like, these are people who live a lifestyle that it's like that meme says. For everybody who's posting up all these, these photos and stuff, make sure you're doing it in front of people who don't really know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, those who are trying to impress other people, make sure that you're not doing all this in front of people who actually know you, who know what you're about and know who you are. Especially if they can go ahead and embarrass you because you're trying to act out of character. A lot of the narcissists, they're out of character. That's really what they are. They're good actors, but they tend to, as actors, they really tend to take their work home, and that's just beyond me. Yeah, Larry, it is. It's and you know what? You don't need to deal with people like that. If someone's not going to apologize to you for actions that they clearly know is wrong, if they're not going to, be a man or be a woman and say, I screwed up, I'm sorry, I didn't, I don't go for the whole I didn't mean to. Don't come to me with that. I never meant to. No, don't come to me with that. If you want to apologize to me, it's fine. You can apologize to me, but don't you dare insult me with I never meant. I don't want to hear that. Everybody's different. I never meant, I didn't mean to, nope. Shouldn't have, couldn't have, nope. Don't want to hear it. I shouldn't have done, nope. Don't want to hear it. If you want to apologize, it's cool. Apologize. I'm not going to bite your head off. I'm not going to, rip you a new one. I'm not going to do any of that. I could have done that a long time ago, and I had not done it. Why am I going to do it now? No. Just don't come to me with any of that extra stuff. Well, can we? Nope. How about nope? You said I'm sorry, and that's it. It is what it is. I don't, they expect you And if they apologize to you, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but if they apologize to you, they expect you to be appreciative about it. You know, like they want you to be like you should appreciate the fact that I'm apologizing to you. I'm like, you should appreciate the fact that I didn't put my foot upside your ass. I guess we even, huh? But I don't, guys, everybody's different, and I don't encourage people obviously staying in dynamics that are really toxic, romantic relationships that are really toxic. I don't encourage any of that. But now this last one, and it's funny because this after I say this, I'm gonna reference on what I was talking about earlier, and then I'm gonna call it a night. But they can really pose as sincere, attentive people, okay, while idealizing you. This was an agenda for you. Understand, this was an agenda. Okay, they had no intentions on trusting you. They have no intentions on really. They had no intentions on. Hold on one sec. Erica, this is year 4, but no Hoover. I'm good with that. Thank God. I've been told get ready for the Hoover. I think you said why earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Don't. I mean, listen. There are two different types of people. There are people who leave room for a Hoover, and there are people who don't. Okay? I'm one who doesn't. I'm one who does not leave room for a Hoover. I will let you know what you did wrong. I will let you know that you fucked up. I will let you know that you are a fuck up. You understand? That's just me. You will always know. So every time you see my face, and everybody's different, guys, but every time you see my face, you're going to be reminded of what you did. I don't have to open my mouth. It's just I just see your face and I'm instantly brought back to what I did, because you slept good at night when I was going through anxiety. You slept okay. When you were hanging out with your friends and drinking and partying and doing whatever, I was waking up convulsing in my bed, shaking out of my sleep. I could not sleep. I thought that I was going to die. I was having panic attacks. My body was going through withdrawals. I was feeling pain, physical pain, emotional pain. I felt that. That's painful. I could not breathe. I could not eat. I could not sleep. I couldn't do anything. Okay? People had to force feed me, guys. They had to force feed me because I could not eat. I almost lost my jobs. I could not concentrate at work. I couldn't focus. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't do any of those things. All while they're drinking, hanging out, partying, going out places, traveling, talking to different females, doing this, doing that, blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. You see my face, you will be reminded every single time what you did. I won't open my mouth. I know, Anna. I know. I know, and I know how painful that it feels. I know how painful it feels. Trust me, I know. I know how painful. There's snakes in the grass, and the grass is cut low. Yes, yes, magnificent. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, they got to keep. This is why we maintain our grass. This is why I don't let nobody cut my grass. I cut my own grass. You know, because I don't. I don't fully trust people. I really don't. And after dealing with that ordeal, I don't trust anyone on a romantic level. You guys know how many, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm not boasting about anything, but you know how many guys have tried to like convince me, oh, you know, Erica, you know, you should just try to give it a chance, try to give it a shot. And you know, you can't make me pay for what your ex did. No, me making you pay for what my ex did is me actually getting involved with you. I was having the talk with Amanda about this earlier. And I'm like, me making you pay for something that someone else did is me knowingly getting involved with you, knowing that I feel the way I do. Why would I put somebody through that? I'm not doing it. I'm in no hurry. And it's funny because I said this in my head the other day. I said, when the man that God has designed for me has created for me and only me comes in my path, I'm not letting him go. I will never let him go, because that's a man that I know that God has put for me to have. What is mine cannot be taken from me. It cannot be taken from me, especially if it is God who is giving it to me. I'm not worried about it. I'm not. Yeah. Yep. I'm not interested. I will know exactly. Exactly. And I'm perfectly fine. And you notice, I don't need to leave people. I don't need to leave you to be with someone else. If I have to leave you to be with someone else, that says a lot about me. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot about me. If I have to, do all of this and then just jump from this into that, that lets people know that, one, clearly I have issues. I clearly have issues. And two, I'm very codependent. And you gotta bounce from relationship to relationship because you can't be alone. You just can't be by yourself. You can't just, nah, I'm good. I'm good, guys. Don't need any of it. Okay, so guys, I don't know what happened here. But before I go, there was something that I was talking about earlier today. In regards to the live that I did on Friday. And I guess, if you go back, you'll understand why I'm referring to it now, though. A lot of you have seen the live that I've done on Friday, this past Friday, with someone, and I was talking about discernment because I need to be more discerning when it comes to inviting people onto my channel, inviting people to work with me on my channel. Now, this particular person, I'm not going to name names. A lot of you do know. You have seen this person. Clearly, you've seen her on my in the chat rooms when I've done lives, and if you've seen the live this past Friday. No worries, no worries. You actually Magnificent, you really didn't miss too much, so don't worry about it. But there were some issues, I guess, and oh, happy belated birthday, sweetheart. There were some issues that I don't know. I really, to be honest, don't know what happened, guys. I don't. I mean, from Friday up into today, actually, this person was, we were actually talking about doing another collaboration, whatever the case may be. And it went from that to, please remove the video. I have no intention on, collabing with you or doing anything with you. Don't know where the hell that came from. But I'm like, all right. Yeah. I don't know what the issue was. She, but clearly she was divulging into some stuff that she may have gotten backlash of it. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But a lot of things just did not make sense to me when it boiled down to it. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if, because, there were some things being spoken. If you guys caught the live this past Friday, you would notice that, yes, Camille, they are. And that's, yes, you know what, Magnificent, you're right, because this person, she blocked me. Like, she blocked me. And I'm like, we just had a conversation. Like, we literally just had a conversation. And she went and she just, and mind you, you guys already know me. I don't give a shit. I personally don't care who blocks me, who doesn't like me, who doesn't talk to me. I really don't care. But my point of it is that we had a conversation. We did the live. Everything was fine. And yeah, I mean, Heather, I don't know. I tried to, but she was like, please remove it, remove me, blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. I will not be collaborating with you. I'm like, okay, understood. That's how you feel. I mean, I didn't go too deep into it. I didn't ask, too many questions because, quite frankly, I feel no reason. You didn't make my channel. I made my channel, so it doesn't really matter. But for whatever reason, yeah, I think Heather, I think that too. I do. Apparently you do have people, and I was saying this earlier, you do have people that are attention seekers. They look to, they go for clout. That's what they do. And there were quite a few times where she did you can tell, you know, she did talk a lot about this particular person that she was, based on her experience. I don't know how much of an experience it was that she had. Yeah, and no, Mama, you know what it is? There were little things here and there that really just did not sit right with me. And going back to it, because Amanda, you guys already know, Amanda's always with me. Amanda, she always watches out for everything. And there were just certain things that did not seem right. And mind you, this was even prior to having the conversation with her. And after doing the live, it was just like something doesn't seem right. And the last thing the last thing I would ever do is encourage anyone to bully or target people or anything like that. We know that this channel, that's not what that's about. And it really seemed, in my opinion, which was also a reason why I didn't have a problem removing the live, because the matter of how she was divulging information, I did not put a gun to her head. I did not tell her to say anything. In fact, we had information, we had cross-referenced what topics of discussion we were going to speak about, and it just went from one direction to another. But she made it clear that she gave information that she does not release publicly, and you know, she assessed and blah 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 and boom boom boom, whatever. I don't know. But all I know is she went from, hey, we're gonna, you know, can we collab again, to I'm gonna block you on Instagram, I'm gonna block you here, and I'm gonna block. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. And I'm making that perfectly clear. I don't like that. And I don't like people who are just like that right there. That right there, yeah, no. Absolutely. Absolutely, Anna. She did, yeah, Heather, she did. And she was, you know, I guess she just wanted to get that out. And she figured it was an opportunity to do it, to do so. There were certain avenues she was going. I did not want to go in those avenues. That's why I said, you know, I don't need names divulged. I don't need channels, because, you know, if you guys notice, she was like veering towards mentioning this person's channel and stuff. And yes, absolutely magnificent, absolutely. I don't encourage any of that. I encourage people to speak their stories. I encourage people to speak up, you know, on their survivorship. I do encourage that. I definitely encourage that. But I do not encourage people to make other people targets, because you can possibly endanger someone by doing that. And if that, you know, goes shot to hell, that can backfire, and that can hit a lot of people in another, you know, in another direction. So it doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to make it clear, because I did end up deleting that live. And I don't like to delete my content, because I stick with my word. I stand true in what it is that I do. And in case anyone tries to, you know, well, you had this up and now it's gone, so what do you hide? I'm not hiding shit. I don't really have to prove anything to anybody. But at the end of the day, a lot of you are very loyal subscribers, and a lot of you have, you know, a lot of you are the reason why this channel is really going. So I just wanted to make that known, let that be known. And yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm not even tripping over it, you know. Amanda's here with me, and you know, you guys are here with me. Everybody, you know, is on the lookout. Everybody monitors, everybody watches, and that's how we do it as a team. We do it as a team, so that way we get the info we need, and we, you know, we move on to the next thing. And Heather, yes, my girl Heather. So guys, one other thing before I go. I wanted to take on the idea. Hey Gilbert, you're late. I wanted to take on the idea that Amanda had mentioned, which is Testimonial Thursdays. It would be similar to it's okay, similar to the live that I did on Friday, where you get to speak your story if you want to, of course. If you want to, you know, I give you guys the opportunity to decide if you want to do that. We can do anonymously. You can do it if you want to do it you know, on the stream through video. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. I hope you're feeling better. Yeah. I hope you're feeling better, love. But I do definitely want to possibly make that possible. I do want to make that possible for you guys. So if you are interested in talking about it, if you're interested in possibly doing what I'm gonna do instead of doing a live, we'll record, and I can use the same software that I've used before to do that live, where I'm on one screen, the person's on the other screen, and we're having a conversation. So if you're interested in doing it, please let me know. Let me know if you are interested in doing it. Let me know if you are interested in just telling your side, telling your story, you know, getting it out there and helping somebody else. All right. If you are, shoot me an email. I'm going to leave it in the description box, and we'll take it from there. I'll share the link with you, and then we can set something up. We can set up a meeting. But guys, I'm gonna call it a night. Even though I am quarantining, I have my work laptop, well, my work on my laptop, so I still have to work from home. But yes, Heather, yes, I will. I'll check your email. I'll check your email while I'm in bed, because at least I can read it, and I'm sure I'll be okay. I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm sure I'll be up and at it by next week. So, but at least I get 10 days home, so I can't complain too much. So guys, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. You guys are awesome. For all those who could not make it, but we'll catch it on the stream, love you guys too. And for those who are interested in doing Testimonial Thursdays, shoot me an email so we can, you know, just discuss a little bit further and discuss a little bit further in detail on what you would like to do. And of course, I will be working on another video for you guys. I did do my latest video, so please check it out. How low will the Narc parent go? Part 1. And I put part 1 because there's plenty more. Trust me, plenty more. So please be sure to check that out. Please give me a like on your way out. And well, you guys know I love you all. And thank you so much for being here with me. I will see you guys next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For anybody who could not make it, go back in the beginning and just, you'll have fun throughout the whole entire thing. I found today's live to be very, very good and very, very interesting with a lot of different facts. So thank you again, guys, for joining me. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you all. Have a great night. See you next week. Bye.